Hi, I'm Kelly Mountain with Goddess Modern, and I'm here to do a tarot and astrology reading for the Sagittarius New Moon that we are having today on December 1st, 2024. I usually have been doing these readings over on my Instagram, but this is the first one that I'm going to start doing here on YouTube. And before I get into the reading, I've just been reflecting on the astrology of today and the surrounding days and significant transits happening, and both personally and collectively. And I think it's interesting. So today, the Sagittarius New Moon, we have it's the first new moon since Pluto went into the sign of Aquarius. So that's a big deal because, well, for a number of reasons. So my understanding is that the United States of America is a Sag rising. So Sagittarius rules the first house of the United States. And the first house is all about identity and how we express ourselves out into the world through appearance or just through our energy. And it's how others perceive us as well. And so we in the United States had just went through a really significant election cycle. And so there's just in general big energies of change in the air these days. And so here we're having this new moon, the first new moon in the first house of the United States chart. So I think that's significant, and also partially because Pluto going into Aquarius like it is now, it hasn't happened in approximately 250 years. And the last time it did, the last time it went through Aquarius was the American Revolution. By the way, you're gonna have to excuse my sleepy face look right now. I just got a massage, so I'm kind of in that zone right now. And but I really wanted to come on and do this reading because I actually missed the full moon in Taurus reading due to a weekend tour of performances I was doing for dance. So I really wanted to come be here and do this with you all. So okay, back to what I was saying. Yeah, so I think it's significant. You know, we have just the energies of transformation and change that are just really heavy in the air these days. And so I think it also could really potentially be reflecting in our own personal lives. So I want to come on and do this reading, and I hope that this is helpful for you out there in some way. I already cleansed myself in the space. I cleansed the cards. I said a prayer of intention, and I'm going to go ahead and just get into this reading now. So I already pulled the cards, and I pull from a number of different decks, whether I'm pulling from to get messages from my ancestors or my spirit guides or angels or allies. And so today in my pulling the cards, it was really about tuning into the collective ancestors, the collective guides, spirit guides, and the collective soul path destiny of humanity to get these messages. So I'll go ahead and start with the messages that came through from the ancestors. Two of Pentacles. And so this Two of Pentacles, this is a creative interpretation of the Two of Pentacles. It comes from a Victorian anatomy book. Those are hearts, human hearts right there. And then also Victorian botany books that somebody put together in a creative way. And so the Two of Pentacles to me is really, there's a message of inquiry around, do you feel stable in specifically in your relationship to the material world? Do you feel stable? Are you feeling off balance in any way? And if the answer to that is yes, then what I would say at the bottom of the deck came the Emperor in reverse. So I would say if you are feeling imbalanced in some way, specifically with your relationship to the material world, And what I want to add to the Two of Pentacles, it's not only the material world, it's also, so it's like topics of resources, which include everything in the material world, but there's also personal resources. We give, we cultivate, and we give, we share with other people these personal resources of care, love, trust, affection, generosity, consideration. These are like personal resources that we spend on each other. And we do so from a place of our relationship to those things within ourselves. So yeah, I'm just gonna like repeat the question again for this Two of Pentacles. Are you feeling, the question is, just notice, are you feeling unstable in some way with your relationship to the material world, or your sense of personal value, or the personal resources that you're sharing with another person? At the bottom of the deck was the Emperor in reverse. Again, this is a creative interpretation. Upright, we've got this body with all this beautiful growth, and but we got it in reverse. And so the Two of Pentacles with the Emperor in reverse, I would say, if this is in relationship to yourself, if you're feeling like this, if you're feeling imbalanced in this way with yourself at all in your own life, I would say it's a really good time to just assess your relationship to your inner masculine energy, the energy that protects and provides and keeps safe, and the energy of action, of one foot in front of the next to get it done and handle it. That part of ourselves that's, really logical and practical and has a plan and then actually works the plan. So if this is for you, that part of yourself, it'd be good to take a look at where you can be in right relationship with that energy, because it's a creative energy, that masculine energy. Is there ways that you can be even more in alignment with that energy? And would that help you in your relationship to your material resources? I know in my own experience, the answer to that is yes, that is exactly what can happen when I get into right relationship with my masculine energy, and I'm in healthy ways, assertive and proactive, and I've made my plan and I'm taking all the steps. Then it expresses in my material world, and also in my sense of self-value, in productive, thriving ways. So that's one message. Okay, I'm gonna keep going with these cards for now. Thank you everybody so much for being here. Okay, next is the Five of Cups in reverse. So the Five of Cups is generally a really sad card. It's generally a card of like heartbreak, just despair, like emotional despair. And it typically comes from some kind of a relationship that we're having with someone or others. Or we can have a Five of Cups if there's like to oneself, if say, you lost your business in some way, like you were trying really hard to build this dream and you had this whole team and then you lost your business or something. It would just, the loss, it's a great emotional loss that the Five of Cups represents. And so this card was actually in the reverse. And so in the upright, I'll show you, this is another creative interpretation of the tarot, but we've got this man standing out at the end of the dock, and there's 3 cups that are spilled over. So those are, that's to represent like the emotional loss and sadness. And there's 2 cups back here still standing and open and available. And the Two of Cups in the tarot is one of the soulmate cards. It's one of the best soulmate cards. So typically but these two cups are at his back, right? So he's out facing the ocean, facing this endless horizon, and he's probably deep in thought because he's sad. And he's just looking at the water, and there is this bright, shining sun out before him. There's also, I noticed this boat as well. And so this boat in the water is making me think of the Six of Swords in tarot, how that's a card where there's two figures in a boat, and they're sailing away from choppy waters into calmer waters. And so the fact that there's this boat here to me is like, it may be time, like if you're somebody that has been experiencing, any kind of emotional despair, emotional loss, it could be time to consider, how you can metaphorically get in that boat and to sail to calmer waters. And the fact that the card, when I picked it, it actually came out in reverse. So to me, I would say, it makes me wonder if there's a block to letting go in some way. Is there a block to letting go and kind of moving on from this energy into unknown horizons? Is there a block from doing so in some way? Or another way that this could read to me is perhaps you are done. Perhaps you are completed with that phase and ready to move on. So, this is a general tarot reading, and the way this stuff works is that it's archetypally predictive. It's not concretely predictive. So, archetypally meaning like there's patterns of energy that are expressed, and then you can feel inside of yourself through your intuition, through your body. You can feel inside yourself if the messages resonate for you and if they apply. And it's more about energy, less about details. It's more about patterns of experience than details. So the exact details of what I'm saying might not line up, but maybe there's a pattern of experience that resonates. And all that's needed with this stuff, if you feel like it resonates, to just simply open yourself to it and allow it to be like a seed of inquiry that comes inside, and that you can continue exploring through giving it attention, through your awareness, or through your breathing, through practices that you can do for meditation and inquiry. So that's just a little bit about how this stuff works. And so from there, I'll carry on. Let's see. So next, from this one deck that I use to call in messages for the soul path. So because I'm doing this collective reading, I did for the soul path of the collective, of the collective humanity at this time. And so I got the Queen of Swords. And so the Queen of Swords is a very strong feminine energy. At the same time, she both holds her hand out in a gesture of receptivity and welcoming, while she's with the other hand holding a sword. And her sword, this is her sword of truth. This is her sword of speaking, of words. This is how she creates and maintains really healthy boundaries within herself and within the relationships and life around her. And she's really, really gifted at using the power of speech in order to communicate. Part of being gifted is having the wisdom to know when and how to use her words, and to be really deliberate with the way that she does that. Because she knows that words can both help and they can harm. And she's at a place in herself where she really embodies that kind of wisdom. And so I think that if this reading is resonant for you, if this is you, I would say yeah, just keep practicing that level of discipline and discernment regarding your inner world and how you express them through your words to yourself and to people around you. Because especially, you know, what's coming up for me right now with this card actually is how, because it is a very energetically sensitive time, we want to be disciplined and discerning with how we use our power of words to express and share and connect. Astrologically, we have currently Mercury in retrograde in Sagittarius, and it is opposing Jupiter in Gemini. So the energy of miscommunications, misunderstandings, misinterpretations are just generally in the air right now. And the Queen of Swords, to me, partly this message is coming through to just say, be discerning with your power of speaking, and just simply tune in to when it's a good idea and when it's just best to listen and observe. And part of what's influencing that for me is that right behind, underneath the deck was the Ace of Swords. And so the Ace of Swords, this is like the sword of truth, insight. This is like a new way of perceiving that is going to create whole new realities of experience. And we've got this Ace of Sword connected to like this hand of spirit, this hand of God coming out of the clouds, and it's blessed. It's like a kind of like a spiritual insight coming through to reveal and to make clear, and then for words, the power of words to be used to carve, in a sense, a path forward for this insight to continue to flourish. So the Queen of Swords plus the Ace of Swords together, to me, just is like a really, really strong message of communication and being in right relationship to words, to intellect, to thought, and for some reason it's coming through, whatever is not totally clear at this time, it will be made clear, and that there's a process unfolding, and we're just simply in the process. We collectively, or we each on our own in some way, individually. So let's see. And then another card that I drew at the beginning, well, when I was shuffling the deck at the beginning, another card that came through was purification. Meet Calico, the maven of purification. She shows up in our life when it is time to let go of everything that no longer serves us. Long ago, she used to be a sad little kitty and believed that was just who she was. When she realized that sadness was not her at all, but a heavy cloak she had been wearing for much too long, she let the cloak drop off her shoulders and felt as light as air. Now she is simply pure being. What old beliefs, stagnant energy, or unhealthy habits can you toss to the wind in order to set yourself free? So this was a really beautiful card to just come out when I was shuffling the deck, and I feel like it's especially Sagittarian in the sense of like how this last line, what old beliefs, so Sagittarius rules Jupiter, and Jupiter is the planet, the archetype, all about our belief systems. What old beliefs, stagnant energy, or unhealthy habits can you toss to the wind in order to set yourself free? Sagittarius is all about freedom. So again, going back to how at the beginning of this reading, I was saying that the United States is a Sagittarius rising. And what's the slogan for the United States? Isn't it like the freedom and pursuit of truth and happiness or something like that? That's a very Sagittarian slogan, if you're familiar with the Sagittarius archetypes. And so yeah, this card of purification also really brings me back to this Five of Cups in reverse that we had towards the beginning. And it really talks to yeah, this kind of readiness of like, what is the emotional despair, what feels heavy that you're ready to let go of, and just make the judgment call. Oh yeah, I didn't mention this. So at the bottom of the deck for the Five of Cups reverse was the Judgment. This is a rebirth. This is a rebirth, but it specifically requires a choice. A choice has to be made. Am I going to just lay this down and bury it and walk away forever, or am I going to give it a rebirth? Do I want to try again? It's kind of a fork in the road energy. It requires a choice. So this to me is saying, it's regarding the Five of Cups reverse, is saying it's an encouragement to make the choice. And especially with the purification card here, it's an encouragement to make the choice to set yourself free through letting go of old emotional despair and bondage, really. Old emotional weight, in some sense, to set yourself free. Because I'm coming back to this Emperor in reverse and Two of Pentacles at the beginning, like how we said at the beginning. If there is a lot of blocked emotional stagnancy, and like old emotional pain and regret. Oh, Five of Cups is a card of emotional regret. Those things, when we hold those energies inside of us, it creates a weight, and it really dampens our inner masculine energy. It dampens that energy, and so we are less proactive, less assertive, less productive, less disciplined and well thought out and planned and prepared, because we have too much emotional stagnancy going on. And so if we're not balanced in our masculine energy to produce, and in a healthy, balanced way, in relationship to the feminine creative energy as well, then it can definitely make us feel off center, like with this Two of Pentacles that came up at the beginning. So there's a message here: make a choice. It's time to make a choice. You harness the energy of this new moon in Sag. Harness the energy of this new moon to unburden yourself from emotional stagnancy and weights, and free yourself into a greater expression of the inner masculine energy to create stability and security in the material world, but especially and foremost within the self, within how one values and honors and respects their own energy. And so I'm going to wrap it up here soon with there was at the bottom of the Spirit Cats deck, when I was shuffling this deck here to get purification, the card that was at the bottom of that deck is Solitude. Meet Lily. She sits contently in the center of the sky. Everything is vast, still, and quietly beautiful. The wind might rustle a song out of the leaves, but she is far from human voices and other meows and hisses. Lily contains the sweet, peaceful expanse of solitude. She will return to the world soon, but for now, let's not disturb her. Find your own space to meet yourself. Perhaps it's in the woods, or perhaps it's in a crowded dance floor with your eyes closed. When you are alone, it is easier to hear your own voice, to discern your longings, and rekindle faith in yourself. Again, I'm really hearing Jupiter in that last line there, because Jupiter, again, it rules faith and belief systems. So, oftentimes a Five of Cups situation, whether we're in it or whether we're blocked or whether we're completed, it definitely can test our sense of faith in ourselves. And I think this is a great card. The Solitude card is a great card to end on, because it is noisy in the world these days, and it is just a nice reminder to go within and get some alone time, and to be in nature and to just do the things that allow the mind to empty and to quiet and become still. Because when we do that, we're going to be more in this Queen of Swords energy, more disciplined and discerning and in right relationship with our communication. And part of what that's going to do for us is empower us to bring some things closer and create more distance with other things. And what's coming through right now for me with how this ties back into it is, when we create space, and by creating distance with other people or situations that just aren't a fully resonant match to keep in closer, when we create some space, it allows for new beginnings, new insights, new visions, new pathways to be carved. All right, well, thank you so much for your time. I hope that this was helpful in some way. This stuff is always so fun, and I always get a lot of reflections after the fact, so I'll circle back in the description box to this video and keep sharing reflections as they come. So my business is Goddess Modern, and I work with women and couples for transformational work and intimacy. I also produce women's events, women's circles and retreats as well. I perform tribal fusion belly dance. I'm an artist and a writer as well. So lots that I'm up to that you can find over on my website, goddessmodern.com, or you can follow me on Instagram as well for content that I make, especially for over there, at Goddess Modern. Thank you so much for your time here, and I wish you a blessed Sagittarius New Moon.